downward facing dog again. Walk it out, do whatever you have to do. Maybe take your feet really wide. Maybe take a shorter dog. You can rock side to side here. And then drop the knees down to the ground. Sit back onto them again and lift the knees up, get into the feet. See if this feels a little bit different this time. So this is like usually super intense for everybody. So just manage what you can manage. You don't have to like super push yourself or anything here. But it usually is pretty uncomfortable. But over time, you can really break down this shell. You can stretch the ankles out. All right, come forward. And then underneath your bum, you're gonna tuck your toes this time, and you'll sit back onto the heels while the toes are tucked. Maybe you have to adjust yourself. Maybe you have to pull your pinkies out of the way so they are really flat on the ground too. And then make your hands into little fists. I'm gonna face you. You can make your hands into little fists and then just begin to bounce up and down. See what this feels like. If this is too much, you can just stay hanging out on top of the legs with no movement, but this might just help open up that bottom of the foot a little bit, which is a crazy part of our body that usually we don't really get into. So, all right, and then bring yourself forward again, and we're gonna untuck the feet and just roll back again. So we'll do this a couple of times. Allow yourself to breathe into the uncomfortability if there is any. Okay, come forward, tuck the toes under, make any sort of pinky toe adjustments, bounce up and down a few times. Nice. So really, I hope you feel this in the feet. It's okay to feel uncomfortable or like feel like there's tension sometimes. Just breathe through it. Be present with the movement, present with those feelings. All right, then let it go. Place your hands down. Tuck yourself back. You're back in a downward facing dog. Okay, so now I want you to take the feet really, really wide as your mat. And you can bring them in a little bit close to you so you're in a short dog. Yeah, look through your legs, relax the neck. And then walk your hands a little bit closer to the feet. So maybe the feet are flat on the ground now and the hands are just on fingertips. Really imagine that your tailbone, that your butt is really sticking up to the sky. So imagine that the backs of the legs can really lengthen. Imagine that your back is almost arching, so the chest is almost pulling through the legs. Take a few breaths. All right, and then slowly release the hands entirely and begin to just gently bend the knees and roll yourself up, keeping the neck and the head really, really relaxed. Roll yourself all the way up. And then when you get to the top, you can bring the feet in a little bit closer, so maybe they're hips width distance, and then take a few really slow roll downs and roll ups on your own. So keep the knees bent, roll yourself all the way down. And then roll yourself all the way up really, really slowly. Allow yourself to feel every single little movement in the spine. And just do this 2 more times on your own, rolling yourself down and then rolling yourself up. Allow the breath to be really long. Allow the legs to just support you here. And then when you come all the way up, you can let the feet come out of whatever position they're in, sort of move them a little bit side to side, find them a good place, and then you're just gonna squat and place the butt as far down as you can, and then slowly press yourself back up. Just 2 more times like that. You can always adjust the feet however you want to. 1 more time. All the way down, 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 and then just allow yourself to sit down on the ground. So good. All right. So find a cross-legged position right now. You can keep the hands on the knees and just begin to go in a nice big circle. So allow there to be like a little bit of weight on top of the knees. That's totally okay. Imagine that your arms are just like weights weighing down the knees a little bit as you move in a big circle. Imagine that you can hit every single edge of the circle as you go around. See if there are any places that maybe you need to go deeper. So good. And then bring yourself back to center. Switch the legs. And then go the opposite direction. So you know what you're doing at this point. Imagine that the top of the head is drawing a huge circle on the ceiling. Notice what the toes are doing, what little parts of yourself are doing in this type of movement. All right, and then bring yourself to center. And then we're just gonna slide ourselves up so that we're in a kneeling position. If this is uncomfortable for you, then you can fold over your mat once. You can stick a blanket under your knees. Just try and keep your knees as comfy as possible here. All right, so hands are on the hips. And I want you to find a little bit of like keeping the ribs in so there's no like flaring out, there's no super tucking under, but just try and maintain a pretty neutral spine. And then you're just gonna lift this right leg up a little bit. So you'll like lean into the left side, just a little lift, and then place it back down. Do this a few times, just noticing maybe what this feels like. Notice how much you have to lean to just lift this leg a little bit up. 1 more time. And then switch to the other side. So this time we'll lean a little bit to the right and then we'll lift this left leg up just a little bit. Notice maybe while you do this, if you're like clenching anywhere or if you're really creating a lot of tension anywhere. I tend to like clench my jaw, so I pay attention to that to relax it. All right, one more time on this side. And then back to center. Okay, so now close your eyes while you're here. And we're gonna lean to the left a little bit and lift the right leg up. So just notice if this is any different for your body. For me, it's like I don't trust lifting the leg up, like even with my eyes closed, even though we just did it, my body kind of freaks out a little bit. One more time, just lifting the right leg up. And then switch to the other side. So we'll lean over a little bit to the right and lift the left leg up. Notice if there's any side that's a little more comfortable to you. The leg that lifts doesn't have to go very far. 2 more times. Eyes are closed. All right, back to center. And this time, we're gonna open our eyes. We're gonna look forward. We're just gonna take this right leg and place it all the way down. Yeah, and we're gonna do that a couple of times. Just like 2 more times. We're gonna try and make this movement as graceful as possible, as swift as possible. We want this to really be like we're working on this right leg strength. All right, one more time and then we're gonna keep it there. Okay, so now ribs are sort of coming in, they're not flaring out, and this time we're actually really going to engage our abdominals. We're gonna stay in the center right now, just find a little bit of firmness in this right foot that's pressing down into the ground. We're gonna take this left arm out to the left side. We're gonna reach, touch it to the ground. Bring this right arm all the way up. It can go over the head if that's comfortable for you. So maybe you feel a nice right side lengthening here. And then you're gonna lift yourself back up. And then you're gonna bring yourself back down. And we'll do this a few times. Just like 2 more times. Try and keep the movement really slow. Try and think about all of the muscles that are really naturally engaging to let yourself do this movement. Last time. Nice. Okay, and then if this is comfortable, you can drop your right hand down just gently on top of this leg and stretch the other way. So beautiful. And then bring yourself back to center. We'll step this right leg back in. And then we're gonna do the left side. So this left leg is just gonna come out, step out, and then step back in. Last time. Leave it out. Take this right arm out. And it's gonna float down. This left arm can come up and over. And then lift yourself back up. So we really want the lift and the lower to be super slow. We want it to be really controlled. And as you lift, it's really like you should feel engagement in your torso. Allow the ribs to sort of pull into the torso. Feel the abdominals, feel the obliques. Last time. So good. And then when you're up, you can take this left hand. It's just gonna gently go down on the leg. It's not like pressing down. And maybe you just lift up a little bit. Feel a little bit of lengthening in the right side of the body. Yes, so good. All right. And then we'll bring that leg back in. Okay, and then turn yourself. You're gonna come back into a tabletop. And we're gonna take this right leg and step it out just like we had just before. And then you're gonna take a few cat-cows here and just notice how this might feel different from a normal cat-cow. Notice the hip, feel the sensations, feel the tilting in the pelvis. Just a few more. And then bring that leg back in, and we'll do the same thing on the left side. So the left leg will step out to the side like we were doing just before, and some little cat-cows. All right, nice. Step that leg back in. Come to sit down on your mat. And we're going to take these legs really, really wide into a nice little straddle on the ground. All right, so to start here, we can sort of just like see what's going on, like lean into different areas of this stretch. See what's comfortable right now. You can move side to side like I'm doing. And when I move side to side, I'm not being super particular. Like when I move to the left side, my right butt is kind of lifting up a little bit off the ground. So it's really like, see what's comfortable, see what's going on, notice your own body. And then if you want, you can sort of like see what's going on in the center. You can move in sort of an upside down rainbow shape from leg to leg. So like you don't have to be moving too much here. This is really like wherever you're feeling comfortable, then you just move in that way. All right, and now I want everybody to sort of move side to side, but when you come to the left side, then I want that right arm to come up and over, and then you'll sort of move to the other side. So this arm is like not going in front of your face, it's just kind of staying up, so you're like a little fancy ballerina, just moving side to side. So beautiful, Maggie. Yeah, so it's like, you know, super just like graceful. You're bringing your whole side body into the stretch. You're getting comfortable. It's dynamic. It's exciting. Just a few more little times. Make sure that you're breathing deeply. Last 2 times. All right, so good. Bring it to center. You can place the hands behind you and sort of just allow the legs to do a little bit of bouncy in front of you. Nice. All right, now I want you to bring the soles of your feet together so you're in a nice little butterfly. And what I really want here is that the legs can be as far out as they have to be in order for you to get your perineum really on the ground. Like I want you to plug yourself down into the ground so that you can really rise up. So I'm just going to show you from the side really quickly. So this is me sort of like slouching into it, like my bum is in the ground. What I really want is I want this tilt. Like I want there to be a nice tilt, and then, you know, the crown of the head can come up and you're just hanging out. You're very perched, like a little bird on its branch. Okay, so perch yourself up, find your butterfly, and then you can just start to move in some gentle little circles. So these do not have to be like really massive. These are kind of just like your body's moving into it. And here is where you're really coming a little bit off that perch. You're like the bird that's just sort of flopping a little bit, right? Your claws are hanging on, but you're sort of moving back and forth. And that's really your pelvis here. Your pelvis can be going to the back of your butt and then moving to the front. And you should feel your pubis kind of tucking down and in. So move forward. If you'd like, you can have your hands a little bit on the knees. Don't press super, super hard, but you can just hang out, see what's going on, see what's comfortable, and then go the opposite direction. Yeah, so let the breath be really long. Go as slow or as fast as you'd like here. These are your circles, your body. Okay, and then come back to center. We'll take the hands behind us, release the legs, little bounces. And then we're gonna come to lie down on our backs. If you have a block, grab it, place it nearby. Come to lie all the way down on your back. Place the hands down on the ground. Place the soles of the feet on the ground. So the knees are in the air. And your feet can be a little bit hips width distance. They can have a little wideness to them. You're gonna really press your feet in the ground, tuck your pelvis under and lift your hips up. So you're just coming into a nice little bridge pose. And then lower the pelvis all the way down. And then lift yourself up again. Lift the hips up into a bridge pose. And this time you're gonna reach your hands underneath you. You're gonna clasp your hands into a big fist and begin to just tuck, tuck, tuck the shoulders underneath the upper back, if that's comfortable for you. You'll just hang out here for a few breaths. Try and breathe into the front of the body. Try and lift yourself up really high. Maybe release the shoulders down the back, away from the ears a little bit. And then release the shoulders, release the clasp of the hand really gently, and release the hips back down. So good. All right. Now you have a few options. You can take this block. You can lift yourself back into a bridge and stick the block underneath your sacrum so that you're just sort of hanging out. Your pelvis is on the block. You're hanging out. You're enjoying yourself. Over time, you may want to lift the knees up so they're sort of elevated above the hips, and that might feel nice. So just hang out, breathe deeply, the eyes can close. The legs are just sort of elevated or they're on the ground, whatever's nice for you. Allow the shoulders, the neck, the head to just relax onto the ground. Nothing here needs to be tensed up. And slowly begin to release one leg at a time, one foot at a time. It's just going to come down to the ground. When you're back in a bridge pose, you can just press into the soles of the feet, lift the hips up, slide the block out from underneath you. Bring the hips down to the ground. And then take the feet as wide as the mat. Let the knees knock into each other and just hang out for a moment. Take some deep breaths. Release any tension in the face, in the jaw, the forehead. And then keep your feet as wide as the mat and knock the knees all the way over to the right side. You can take the arms out to a T if that's comfortable for you. You can look over to the left, away from the knees if you wish. Try and relax the legs, relax the ankles. And then take the knees all the way over to the left side. And maybe you turn your head over to the right side. Then bring the knees back to center. And you can lift the knees up, and this time maybe grab the outer edges of your feet or the ankles for a little happy baby pose, just rocking yourself gently side to side. Continue just rocking yourself, maybe the eyes closed for a moment. And the head and the shoulders, they're just relaxed on the ground. So you could be grabbing any part of your legs right now for this happy baby. All right, then release the legs down. The feet can come down. You can release the legs really, really long. Take the arms up and over the head. Stretch them really long. See how long you can make your body, make your limbs. Feel the sides of your bodies expanding, lengthening. And then take your arms into a cactus shape so that the elbows are bent. Try and relax the arms towards the ground. If this isn't comfortable, you can bring your arms into a T shape. But just breathe here for a few moments, just allowing the shoulders, the elbows, maybe the forearms don't reach the ground, but just try and relax them here. Let the sacrum relax, the pelvis. It's just floating on top of the ground, just hanging out. The ankles can relax. And then bring the arms back up and over. Lengthen the arms like you're taking a big morning stretch overhead. The hands can link if you wish. Stretch the shoulders up towards the ears. Let there be a little bit of tension, a little bit of shrugging right now. And then release some. Take the arms just long to a T shape, out super wide. Take up some space. Close the eyes. Take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. 2 more breaths like that, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then last one, deepest breath of the day, in through the nose, really, really deep. And everything out through the mouth. Allow the body to relax. Allow the body to just grow still. Feel the back of the head softly releasing into the ground. Back of the neck releases. Shoulders release. Allow this to be a long moment of relaxation in your day. Where the whole body can relax, the whole mind can relax. Let the mind just sort of float away with the air, just presently hovering in the air with no thoughts that are super important right now, just hanging out. Feel the rise and fall of the breath in the body, like the waves, like your own personal tide. Imagine the body just floating in this personal tide, this soft, gentle rise and fall. Allow every muscle of the face to just relax, to be like liquid pooling on the ground. The eyeballs and the eye sockets can just relax, be held. The ears can totally let go, with any sounds just floating in and floating out ever so gently. Notice that rise and fall of the breath again. The personal waves of your body, just notice. Feel them be expansive through you, as if the whole body just floats on this vibration. And gently come back into the body a little bit. You can just wiggle the fingers and toes a little. Maybe take the arms up overhead again, like a big morning stretch again. Stretch yourself open and then curl yourself up into a little tiny ball. Roll yourself over to whatever side is more comfortable for you. Take a few gentle breaths with yourself here, just personal breaths. Then you can press yourself up to a seated position. Oh, you can bring your hands to your heart if you wish. You can have a moment with yourself. You could not. You could move on with your day. Or you can take yourself through a little moment and just show a little gratitude to yourself for taking time out of your day to relax, to get into your body, to move yourself through your body. Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you, Hanna.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
You it, right? I was like, in the, yeah, your mom's the fasting event is beautiful, amazing. This time 4 days, I did not eat, did not drink. 2 weeks before.
Oh, yeah.
And it's amazing. Yeah, everything is just normal. The Taoism fasting. Another thing, last week I was in a movie, and today I'm going to have another audition, and tomorrow will be another small movie.
Wow.
And that's amazing. A lot of miracles happening.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I never know, like in New York, so many like people, the young people, they are making movie now. It's mostly about like how that related with the pandemic. Chinese born, actually American born Chinese. Last time with the script is very nice, and how little small family, you know, how they impacted their job, and even they did not get the COVID, but it was like, how have you been?
Good. Yeah, I've been good.
Maggie, you are now a little star now.
Yeah, to show your face. This is I need to talk to you. Right? Today before we are in the class, we cannot talk, right? So I'm a star, but Hanna will be the big star, and you are the queen. So Hanna, just with your mom and me, we're gonna host a yin yoga workshop. I've invited my teacher, Krishu, to teach, and then very nice. And tomorrow morning. So I think one thing, should we have a meeting tonight or tomorrow morning? We go on Zoom earlier, sister. And right, we need
yes.
Yeah, so we're gonna both host, or you're gonna host, or
wait. Let's finish talking to Hanna first.
Oh, okay.
How are you doing, Hanna?
No, because I want to talk about Hanna too. It's about this too.
Why don't we pause?
Oh, actually,